Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. My name is Zahratun Humairah binti Muhamad Haswira and I'm Year 2 Semester 2 student in Bachelor of Early Childhood Education program at IPGM Kampus Perlis. So today, I'm excited to share with you an innovative digital learning tool called VOCABUDDY. So before I explain more, let me ask you a question. How do young children usually learn a new words? Some might say through flashcards, picture, or books, or even the songs. But what if we could make vocabulary learning even more interactive and exciting? That's exactly what VOCABUDDY aims to do. So what is VOCABUDDY? VOCABUDDY is a digital teaching material designed to help preschoolers learn vocabulary in a fun and interactive way. Unlike traditional methods that may be repetitive and passive, VOCABUDDY incorporates visuals, sounds, and interactive elements to make learning more engaging. This tool is carefully developed based on the Curriculum Standard Prasekolah Kebangsaan (KSPK), ensuring that it aligns with the Malaysian preschool curriculum. By using VOCABUDDY, children can learn new words in a way that is both structured and enjoyable. The main goal of VOCABUDDY is to make vocabulary learning more effective, engaging, and interactive. We understand that young children learn best when they are actively involved. So, VOCABUDDY combines structured learning with fun activities. Through this approach, children do not just memorize words, they truly understand them by seeing, hearing, and interacting with the content. This helps to improve their vocabulary retention and overall language development. Okay, moving on. Let's explore the key features of VOCABUDDY. This digital learning tool is divided into two main sections. Firstly, we have the learning space. This section provides thematic vocabulary lessons where children are introduced to new words. Each word is accompanied by pictures, sounds, and animations, making it easier for children to understand and remember. Next, we have the playing space. This is where learning turns into a fun experience. In this session, children can play interactive games that reinforce the vocabulary they have learned. These games encourage active participation and make learning feel like play rather than task. With these two sections combined, VOCABUDDY provides a balanced learning experience. Children learn new words and then reinforce their learning through play. Now, let's talk about who can benefit from VOCABUDDY. First and foremost, VOCABUDDY is perfect for early children aged 4 to 6 years old. Since this is a crucial stage for language development, VOCABUDDY helps them expand their vocabulary in an engaging and meaningful way. Apart from that, teachers can also use VOCABUDDY as a classroom teaching material. Since it includes both lessons and games, it can be an excellent tool to keep students engaged while learning new words. Not only that, parents can also use VOCABUDDY at home to support their children's learning. With this digital tool, parents can make learning fun and interactive even outside the classroom. Now, let's take a closer look at the features and content inside VOCABUDDY. When children open VOCABUDDY, the first thing they will see is the title screen along with navigation buttons. These buttons make it easy for children to move between different sections of the program. The three main navigation buttons are Learning Space, Play Space, and Help button. So for the Learning Space, this takes them to the guided vocabulary lessons. And then we have Playing Space. This leads to interactive vocabulary games. And then we have Help button. This provides information and a manual on how to use VOCABUDDY effectively. This simple layout ensures that even young children can navigate VOCABUDDY easily, making the learning process smooth and enjoyable. Now, let's talk about the learning space. This is the section where children are introduced to new words in an engaging way. The lessons are thematically structured, covering 8 essential themes with a total of 130 words. The themes are alphabet, numbers, vehicles, animals, body parts, my school, which school objects, attire, and foods. Each word in the learning space is introduced through interactive slides. So every slide includes a picture that helps with visual recognition, a word that introduces spelling, and audio pronunciation that supports correct pronunciation and listening skills. So by combining visuals, text, and sound, children can learn vocabulary in a multisensory way, making it easy for them to remember new words. Next, let's move on to the playing space. This is where learning becomes even more exciting. In this section, children can play interactive games that reinforce their vocabulary knowledge. These games are designed to be fun and engaging, making learning feel like playtime rather than a formal lesson. To ensure easy navigation, all games use symbol and icon-based buttons, allowing children to interact with the program effortlessly. There are 6 different games, each focusing on a specific themes. For the first one is Who Am I by Animals Team. This game is a guessing game where children identify animals based on descriptive clues. For examples, I am tall. I have a long neck. I eat leaves from a tall trees. Who am I? So the answer is giraffe. The second one is Move and Guess by Vehicles Team. This game encourages children to act out vehicle movements and sounds to guess the correct vehicles. For example, the teacher would say, "Okay everybody, stretch both arms wide. Move side to side like you are flying. And say, whoosh, whoosh. Guess what vehicles you are on?" So the answer is airplane. Next, fill the gap from School Objects Team. This game, a word completion activity where children fill in missing letters to complete a word. For the example, P, E, N, T, I, L. So what is the missing letter? C. So the answer is pencil. So the next game is Simon Says from Body Parts Team. This game is a classic listening game where children follow movement instructions only when the phrase Simon Says is used. For example, Simon says, "Touch your nose." So, children must touch their nose, but only if Simon Says is included. But what if there's no Simon Says? So the children cannot follow the instruction. The next game is Put It On for a tired team. This game, a matching activity where children identify the correct body part for a given clothing items. For example, the screen displays an image of a child along with a picture and the word shoes. The student clicks on the correct areas, which is feet, to place the item correctly. The last one is Serve It Right from Foods Team. So this game is a role-play game where children help a seller serve the correct food based on the customer's request. For example, the customer says, "Can I have a donut please?" And the student clicks on the correct food item, which is donut, to serve it. These games not only reinforce vocabulary, but also promote critical thinking, listening skills, and creativity. By engaging in these activities, children can apply what they have learned in the learning space, making their vocabulary acquisition more meaningful and long-lasting. Now that we have explored the features of vocabulary, you might be wondering, how exactly can this be used in real life? Who benefits from it in the most? Well, vocabulary is not just another digital learning tool. It's designed to be practical and beneficial for teachers, children, and even parents. Let's break it down. First, let's talk about teachers. We all know that preparing lesson materials can take a lot of time, and and sometimes we have to create new resources for every lesson. But with VOCABUDDY, that's no longer a problem. First, it's reusable and time-saving. Once you have VOCABUDDY, you can use it again and again without needing extra preparation. No more printing tons of flashcards or searching for new worksheets every week. Second, it reduces workload. Since VOCABUDDY already comes with structured vocabulary lessons and interactive activities, teachers don't need to create materials from scratch. Just open it and you're ready to go. And the last one is curriculum aligned. The best part? It follows the curriculum standard Prasekolah Kebangsaan KSPK, so teachers can use it confidently knowing that it supports the official preschool syllabus. So for teachers, VOCABUDDY is ready-made, time-saving and structured teaching tool that makes lesson more interactive and engaging without adding extra work. Now, let's move on to the most important users, the kids. Young children learn best when they are having fun, and VOCABUDDY makes sure of that. First, this material is interactive and engaging. Instead of just looking at words, children see pictures, hear sounds, and play games. This keeps them excited and interested in learning new words. Next, this material is multisensory approach. So when kids see, hear, and interact with new words, it helps with better memory, retention, and pronunciation. It's not just a memorization, it's real learning. And the third one is this material encourages independent learning. Since VOCABUDDY is designed with symbol-based buttons, even young children who cannot read yet can navigate it on their own. This builds their confidence and encourages them to learn independently. Last but not least, fun and motivating. Let's be honest. Kids love games. The playing space turns vocabulary learning into a fun experience, so children want to keep learning without feeling like it's a boring lesson. With VOCABUDDY, kids learn naturally through play, making vocabulary lessons something they actually look forward to. And finally, we have parents. A lot of parents want to support their child's learning at home, but sometimes they are not sure how to do it. That's where VOCABUDDY comes in. First, this material supports learning at home. So children can use VOCABUDDY outside the classroom, making it a great tool for home learning. It's like having an extra teacher at home. Next one is, this material also encourages self-paced learning. Kids can explore VOCABUDDY at their own speed. If they don't understand something, they can repeat lessons as many times as they need without feeling rushed. The third one is strengthens parent-child bonding. Parents can join in the learning process, helping their children play games and learn new words together. It's a great way to spend quality time while also making a learning fun. Last but not least, reduces screen time concerns. We all know that kids love screens, but not all screen time is productive. So VOCABUDDY ensures that when kids use digital device, they are actually learning, not just watching videos. So for parents, VOCABUDDY is a stress-free way to make sure their child gets meaningful, engaging, and effective vocabulary learning even at home. Now, let's dive into how we can actually use it in a real classroom setting. So, I'll be sharing the step-by-step process of conducting an exciting lesson using VOCABUDDY, specifically on the theme vehicles, for example. So, for this lesson, we'll be using both the learning space and the playing space, so kids will not only learn new words, but also get to play and move around. Let's get started! So, I will start the lesson with set induction, like for 5 to 7 minutes. So, every grade lesson starts with a fun and engaging introduction. We don't just jump into vocabulary. We first grab the children's attention and get them excited. So to begin, I will start a casual conversation with the kids, like, what vehicles have you ridden before? Which vehicles do you like the most? Why? This gets them thinking and talking about vehicles in a way that feels natural. So to make it even more exciting, I can bring toy vehicles or replicas for them to touch and observe. For example, I could show them a toy car, bus, or airplane and ask, can you guess what is this? Or what sound does it make? The goal here is to create a fun and familiar learning environment before we even introduce new vocabulary. So next, the second step is vocabulary introduction. So teachers can use learning space in VOCABUDDY. Once the kids are engaged, we move on to the learning space in VOCABULDY. Here's what happens. Imagine that I open the vehicles team and introduce different vehicle names like car, bus, train, aeroplane, etc. So each word is presented with a picture to help with visual recognition and the spelling, so they start recognizing the letters, and an audio pronunciation so they can hear the correct way to say it. So the teachers can encourage the kids to repeat after them and practice it together. For example, okay class, say it with me. Car. K-A-R, car. Or, how many wheels does a car have? And then let them answer. Or, as a teacher, we can also ask them, does an aeroplane have wheels? And then let them think and respond it. To make it even more fun, as a teacher, I think I will ask them to make vehicle sounds like vroom vroom. What vehicle is that? Or choo choo. Can you guess this one? By this point, the kids are not just learning new words, they are interacting and having fun with it. Next, let's move on with step 3. Interactive games. Teachers can use playing space in VOCABULDY. Now it's time to move and play. I will introduce the move and guess game from VOCABULDY's playing space. For example, alright everyone, let's play a game. I will give you a movement and sound and you have to guess the vehicle. Okay? Ready? Then I act out a movement. For example, stretch both arms wide. Move side to side like you are flying. Say whoosh, whoosh. What vehicles am I? And then maybe the kids will answer it. Aeroplane, teacher. The kids get up, move, and act it out together. This makes the learning experience active and memorable. And then I will continue with more. Like, okay, stand in a line with your friends and make your arms like the train wheels and say choo choo. What is this? And then the answer is train. So, this activity helps children remember words through movement and sound, which makes vocabulary learning so much more fun and effective. And then, maybe teacher can add a step 4. Additional activity, like for 10 minutes, is optional. So, if I'm a teacher, I will have extra time and I add an optional reinforcement activity to help the kids remember what they learned. Some ideas include coloring activities, so we can give them coloring sheets of vehicles and let them color their favorite one. Or maybe drawing and naming activity, we can ask them to draw their favorite vehicle and write its name. Or show and tell activity, let them describe their drawing to their friends. This allows kids to express their creativity while reinforcing the new words they learn. So, last but not least, we can move to the next step. which is conclusion and reflection. Finally, we wrap up the lesson with a short reflection session. If I am a teacher, I will ask the kids, what vehicle do you like most? Or can you make the sound of your favorite vehicle? And then I will praise them for their participation. Like, great job everyone, you learned so many new words today. So before ending, the teacher will remind them, don't forget, okay? You can keep practicing at home with VOCABUDDY. This way, they stay excited about learning even after the lesson ends. And that's it. That's how we can use VOCABUDDY to teach vehicles in a fun, engaging, and interactive way. With just a few simple steps, first starts with a fun discussion, which is submission, and then introduce new words with VOCABUDDY in learning space. And then, reinforcing learning through the move and guess game. After that, add creative activities for extra practice. And last but not least, wrap up with the reflection and praise. So this method ensures that kids not only learn new words but also remember and enjoy them. So, VOCABUDDY is really just a teaching aid, which is a tool to make lessons more interactive and engaging. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is not the material itself. It's how the teacher delivers the lesson. The way we interact with students, keep them engaged, and manage the classroom plays the biggest role in making learning effective. The steps I shared earlier are just suggestions. Teachers don't have to follow them exactly. Feel free to get creative, tweak the activities, and adjust things based on what works best for your students. VOCABUDDY is here to support your teaching, but the real magic happens through your guidance, facilitation, and connection with the kids. Okay, so now that we have gone through how to use VOCABUDDY in the lesson, let's take a moment to talk about why VOCABUDDY is such a great learning tool for preschoolers. So VOCABUDDY is designed with specific educational goals in mind, all to help children develop strong vocabulary skills in a fun and engaging way. So let's go through how it actually supports early learning. First, it develops essential vocabulary skills. First and foremost, VOCABUDDY helps children build their vocabulary. Instead of just learning random words, kids are introduced to foundational vocabulary that they will actually use in real-life situations. For example, they learn words from different things like vehicles, which is car, train, aeroplane, food, which is bread, rice, cake, attire, which is shirt, pants, and shoes. By covering a variety of themes, VOCABUDDY helps children expand their vocabulary in structured and meaningful way. The second one is enhance word recognition and pronunciation. Now, learning new words is not just about saying them. Kids also need to recognize and pronounce them correctly. That's why VOCABUDDY includes pictures to help children connect words with objects, spelling to introduce them to how words are written, audio pronunciation so they can hear and repeat the correct way to say each word. For example, if they see the word aeroplane, they don't just memorize the spelling. They hear how it sounds, see a picture, and connect all three together. This makes it so much easier for them to remember and use the word correctly. Third, support early literacy development. VOCABUDDY is not just about learning individual words, it also builds early literacy skills such as letter recognition. Saying words help them identify letters. Phonics. Hearing the pronunciation helps with sound recognition. Spelling. Associating words with letters supports early writing skills. This gives children a strong foundation for reading and writing later on. So, even though they are just learning vocabulary now, VOCABUDDY is actually preparing them for more advanced literacy skills in the future. Next, the fourth one, encourage active learning through play. Let's be real. Kids learn best when they are having fun. That's why VOCABUDDY includes interactive activities, engaging games, and play-based learning. Instead of just sitting and listening, children actively involved in the learning process. For example, in the move and guess games, they are not just learning vehicle names. They are acting them out, making sounds, and guessing. This makes learning memorable and exciting. The fifth, improve listening, comprehensions, and critical thinking. VOCABUDDY is not just about learning words. It also helps children understand, process, and think critically. Through activities like storytelling helps improve listening and comprehension. Guessing games encourages problem-solving skills. Role-play activities build confidence in language use. For example, in the Who I Am games, children listen to clues like I am tall, I have a long neck, I eat leaves from tall tree. Who am I? They have to think, process the information, and guess, which strengthens their critical thinking skills while learning vocabulary. Next point is provide a multisensory learning experience. So every child learns differently, right? Some learn best by seeing, some by hearing, and some by doing. So VOCABUDDY combines all three. Visuals, pictures help with recognition. Audio, pronunciation improve listening skills. Interactive elements, games and activities encourage engagement. This multisensory approach ensures that all types of learners can benefit. Next, align with KSPK curriculum standards. Another important thing to note, VOCABUDDY is not just a random learning tool. It's actually aligned with the curriculum standard Prasekolah Kebangsaan (KSPK). This means that all the vocabulary lessons and activities are structured, age-appropriate, relevant to the national preschool syllabus. So, teachers and parents can trust that VOCABUDDY supports the official preschool learning framework. Last but not least, facilitate learning at both schools and home. Finally, VOCABUDDY is a flexible learning tool that can be used. In the classroom, teachers can use it for lesson. At home, parents can use it to support home learning. This makes it convenient because children can continue practicing vocabulary outside of school, ensuring continuous learning and more improvement. And the best part, parents can join in too. They can play games together with their children, making learning a bonding experience instead of just another task.
Bear.
Next.
Camel. Duck. Eagle. Horse. Iguana. Jaguar. Koala. Lion. Monkey.
I eat leaf from tall tree. Who am I? Me.
Apa tu?
Giraffe.
Giraffe. Pandai. Lagi next. Soalan next.
Me.
Next.
A
Hum.
hum on my back.
People.
Did
Right.
like me to have
Travel.
Who
Am.
am I?
Siapa?
This
Okay, what is this?
camel. Camel.
Pandai.
Ni.
Okay.
So in summary, VOCABUDDY is more than just a digital tool. It's a fun, interactive, and effective way to help children. With VOCABUDDY, children don't just memorize words, they actually understand, enjoy, and use them in real life. And that wraps up my presentation on VOCABUDDY. I hope this digital material can be a helpful tool for teachers in making vocabulary learning more engaging, interactive, and fun for young learners. Thank you so much. Bye!